Hey guys, Anders here with another video. Today we're going to go over this week's live patch and talk about the upcoming fairy changes, which went live in Korea. So let's start with the fairy changes. Your fairy is now going to have an additional 10 levels to the cap. So your tier 4 fairy, it used to have a cap of level 40. Now it's going to have a cap of level 50, allowing it to learn one more skill. Now to get to level 50 from level 40, you're going to need exactly 66 wines. So if you're buying up wines, don't worry, don't buy more than 66. That's all you need. If you have that already, don't worry too much about it. Now with this new level cap, we have a new skill called continuous care. This is going to allow us to automatically use foods, elixirs, and scrolls with this fairy. There are currently 3 presets you can save, which allow you to set up basically a PvE, a PvP, and a life skills set. So the way the tier of the skill works is the higher the tier, the more items you can set up. So if you only have a tier level 1 of continuous care, you can only set up 5 items, which would basically mean you'd only be able to really have 1 preset. You can change it, of course, anytime you want, but you wouldn't have the convenience of already having the presets for PvP and PvE and then life skills. If you have a tier 2 level of that skill, it's going to have 8 items to be set. Tier 3 allows for 12 items. Tier 4 allows for 16 items, and then at the top, Tier 5 allows for 20 items. So once you set up your presets, you can activate the use of your buffs by right-clicking on this new continuous care icon that's going to be here on your UI. You can enable and disable that whenever you need without a cooldown. Now, once this is active, the preset selected will refresh whenever your buffs expire. Now, you should be aware that you can only select 1 cron meal, 1 draft per preset. You can, however, select multiple normal foods and multiple normal elixirs if you wish to run special food and elixir rotations for specific cases. Now, if you have a level 50 tier 4 fairy and you end up just not getting lucky and not getting that new continuous care skill, they're going to be giving us 15 Theo orbs for 100 loyalty to give you a chance at getting the new skill. It takes 5 Theo orbs to change skills at level 50, but most players should be fine with tier 3 or so of the skill. If you are leveling a new tier 4 fairy, you can always use Theo orbs at lower levels to make the most use out of them. So if your fairy only has 1 skill learned, you can use 1 orb to switch that skill and try and get what you want. So that's the new fairy changes in a nutshell. We should be getting it within a week or so for all PC regions. Of course, console may take a bit longer. Before we get into the live patch, I do want to touch on a couple of other changes that came to Korea, but not to us yet. The church buffs and villa buffs changes. We can now buy these buffs for up to 5-hour durations instead of 2 to 3 hours that we normally have. They will both cost 10 million silver for the 5-hour duration buff. I think it's a pretty good change if you grind for longer sessions or you're going to be doing PvP for longer sessions as well. One thing that is missing, balance changes, where are they? I did cover all of these in my last video, but that doesn't necessarily mean just because we don't have it in the Korean patch that it's not coming. It may be that they're going to be going over some other balance changes this week in test server, and then they're going to launch all the changes together for the first season of Arena of Solare as a global sort of balance patch together. That would make kind of sense if they plan on having major balance patches like this every 3 months, coincide with the start of a new Arena of Solare season. That's just my guess. That's what it seems like. I don't think it means that, for example, Succession Dracania is no longer getting nerfed. I don't think that's what that means. There's a couple more classes that need to still be balanced in their eyes, and then they're going to release them all at once with the new Arena of Solare season. Now, as for live patch updates for this week for global regions, they fixed some bugs with the Terrmian event and now changed the fishing buff to be 10 hours long instead of 3. Whenever you get that fish, you can exchange it for a buff. It used to be 3 hours, now it's 10 hours, and now there's a chance of getting the purple fish. So if you're fishing in the orange zone, you can get a 10% chance of getting the purple fish that would give you the life skill buff for 10 hours. Pretty good if you're trying to get both buffs. It also works the opposite way as well. If you fish for the life skill fish, you're going to have a small chance of getting the combat fish as well. The transformation scrolls are now more varied, and they only have a 1-minute cooldown as well instead of, I think it was like 20 minutes or something like that, which should help with the quests in that area. Orzeka and Nuvarikant outfits are now dyeable, which is awesome, and you can now run a quest to rebox your Orzeka or Nuvarikant for 1 billion silver per piece, and you can now exchange the armor and weapon boxes from zones into materials you normally get through processing. So basically, if you've been grinding for potion, you're going to get a lot of these, and you would have to normally open them all up and then slowly process them through heating, and that takes a long time. Now you just exchange them and you have an RNG chance of getting the same amount of materials as before. Murlocs Labyrinth got buffed as well. You get more Kafras, more trash loot, as well as overall higher drop rates for embers and tokens. We should also be getting a Jade Starlight drop rate buff for embers next week as well, which is good to see. Alvia guild missions have been added, so you can run those for a bit more money if you're in a guild. That's a good change. We have the new Musa outfit in the cash shop, and the Ranger outfit has been released in Korea as well. I think they're both alright. I think the Musa Awakening weapon looks amazing. We should get the Ranger outfit next week on our servers, and the next new outfit coming out will be for Wizards. That's going to be releasing in Korea next week. And that's it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think about the fairy changes. I think they're pretty good. Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.